Yeah. Yeah.
What's good? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. We're going to get into NXT Battleground from May the 25th, 2025. A very solid, fun 2+ hour show. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. I really did. This was a really good show. Really good show. I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. So, we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Sol Ruca versus Kalani Jordan for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Sol Ruca ends up winning via the Skull Snatcher. This was a great match. Zarya tried to get involved early on, and the referee sent her to the back, which was great. She got ejected, which was excellent. So this became a one-on-one match. Really good stuff here. Really good stuff. Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruca, they work well together. They're almost like a mirror image of each other, basically, if we're being honest. And Kalani losing here, it makes sense. Like, why would she win? So the question is, what do you do with Kalani going forward? Like, what the hell do you do with her? It seems that they are going to build Zarya versus Sol Ruca at some point. Hopefully on Tuesday on NXT, hopefully Zarya does turn heel and takes out Sol Ruca. Because Sol Ruca, she attempted the F5 in the match. But Jordan, she ended up countering with a DDT. But the match was very, very solid here. A bunch of fast-paced stuff. Really good spots, you know. Just excellent stuff here. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Good stuff. Good way to start the show off. They just competed up against Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter for Double or Nothing for the Women's Owen final. So, I mean, you know, both matches were good. Moving on. So, Sarah Schreiber, she had a backstage interview with Mike Santana. Mike Santana got a pretty decent reaction. He says that it's taken him 16 years to step into the door of WWE. He's here to watch the Joe Hendry Trick Williams match. Mike Santana wants to face the winner of tonight's main event. So Charlie Dempsey shows up and joins the conversation. Charlie Dempsey is getting really tired of the outsiders taking opportunities away from him. Mike Santana didn't appreciate that Charlie Dempsey interrupted his interview. If Dempsey has a problem, Mike Santana has no problem fighting him. Then Tavion Heights takes the opportunity to challenge Mike Santana to a match for NXT this Tuesday. Santana liked how Tavion conducted his business, unlike Dempsey. Really good stuff here. Mike Santana showing up was great. I love this. Really, really good shit here. Excellent stuff. Moving on. This was the 6-man tag. Hank and Tank and Josh Briggs, they defeated the Calling. So Sean Spears, Brooks Jensen, and Nico Vance. Who really cares about this? The babyfaces got the win. Josh Briggs wins. Post-match, the Calling, they attack Briggs, and then Inamura shows up. He snatches the steel chair away from Izzy Dame. So, Inamura then rains down a series of steel chair shots. Then all hell breaks loose. And basically, the babyfaces, they clear the ring. And Josh Briggs and Inamura, they embrace. So that's pretty cool. I like that, I guess. Do I care about it? No, I don't give a single shit about it. I really don't. Moving on. So this leads us into a backstage interview with Ethan Page. Ethan Page doesn't believe that Ricky Saints is the coolest guy in NXT. all the confidence, all the charisma. The silver tongue is all a facade. Ethan Page says that Ricky is is one of the most insecure human beings he's ever met. Ethan Page gets a shot at the North American Championship this Tuesday. Ethan Page says that Ricky has been following in his footsteps ever since he arrived in NXT 3 months ago. So Ava then joins the conversation. She shows up. Ava is the worst fucking GM in all of pro wrestling. She tells Ethan Page to be quiet. Ava informs Ethan Page that the winner of the match will defend the North American Championship at Worlds Collide on June 7th. Okay, cool. That's fine. But we didn't need Ava to come and tell us that. We already kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. What the hell? Moving on. Tony D'Angelo versus Stacks. Great match here. Stacks' interest was pretty cool. He ended up walking on the jacket that Tony D gave him. He ended up walking up with a family jacket. So that was great. Match was solid here. A bunch of good power moves, suplexes, clotheslines, clubbing blows, running clotheslines from both guys. So Stacks threw Tony D into the ribs. My bad. He threw him ribs. My bad. He threw him ribs first into the steel ring steps. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. So there was that. So basically, towards the end of the match, Luca Cristofano, he comes out. And I'm like, didn't NXT have him murdered like 3 or 4 weeks ago? So he shows up, and he's just staring a hole through the dawn. So, Tony D wants to know why Cristofano hasn't reached back. Then this allows for Stacks to hit the low blow, and then Stacks hits a bicycle knee on the back of Tony D'Angelo's head for the 1, 2, 3. So Stacks then gets out of dodge, and I guess Tony D wants to talk business with Luca Cristofano. No, my bad. Luca Cristofano, he attempts to kind of embrace Tony D. Tony D's like, nah, get the fuck away from me. So this was great. I love this. Right decision here. It makes sense that Stacks would win their first encounter. I still got a feeling that Stacks is going to end up winning the entire thing. Not the second match, obviously. But he's going to win that third and final match, which will probably have Tony D go to the main roster after that. I feel like once his feud is over with Stacks, you got to transition Tony up to the main roster. And I think Tony D'Angelo should do fairly well on the main roster. I think he will. So, there's that. Moving on. This leads us into Stephanie Vacker versus Jordynne Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. I honestly thought that this was going to be the co-main event, but it was not. This match was great. A bunch of power moves here by both women. So the Devil's Kiss was in this match, which was great. That was excellent. So Jordynne Grace had a little stare down with Booker T, basically. The match was physical. So Jordynne Grace ended up hitting the Vader Bomb in the match. And Stephanie Vacker kicked out at 2, basically, which was great. So basically, Stephanie Vacker ended up hitting the SVB drive, or whatever it's called. And Jordynne Grace was able to actually kick out of that. So I was shocked at that. I was like, what the hell? So Jordynne Grace was going to go for the Beast Mode, a.k.a. the Juggernaut Driver. Stephanie was able to fight out of that some more. Then the finish came when Stephanie Vacker ended up hitting Jordynne Grace with a headbutt, and then she hits the spiral tap for the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. So this match was solid. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Excellent shit here. I love both Jordynne Grace and Stephanie Vacker. I'm trying to think. Do you turn Jordynne Grace heel, or do you just call her up to the main roster? Because I don't see her going back down and maybe challenging for the women's NXT championship. That's on Sol Ruka. So, there's that. But, it is what it is. But I do think that this is not over. And I think that Jordynne Grace at some point in the future is going to turn heel. It makes sense. I don't think she's ready for the main roster just yet. I mean, she just got to NXT. If I was Triple H, I would just allow Jordynne Grace to stay in NXT for the remainder of this year, and then next year sometime call her up. But there are more women in NXT that need to be called up. But that main roster women's division is kind of stacked on both Raw and SmackDown. Well, I mean, not really stacked, but they need more people on the main roster. I'll put it like that, so I apologize. All right, moving on. So Sarah Schreiber had an in-ring interview with Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints says that Ethan Page is the guy you don't want to have at a party. Ricky knows that he lives rent-free in Ethan Page's head. I almost said Hangman Page, but, I apologize. Ricky says that history won't let history slip away. Ricky's tired of Ethan Page. I'm the same way. We're on the same page, Ricky. Ricky has no problem kicking Ethan Page's ass in the beginning of NXT this Tuesday. Then Ricky was asked about the upcoming WWE Worlds Collide PLE. Ricky says he's an ambassador. Ricky will take on anybody from AAA. So then Ethan Page shows up, and there's a brawl that breaks out between the two. And Ricky stands tall. He ends up hitting, I guess, a flying crossbody to take out Ethan Page and security guards, which was great. So good stuff there. I am tired of Ethan Page. I really am. He's getting on my damn nerves. It's time for Ricky. My bad. It's time for Ethan Page to go to the main roster. There's no need to have him on NXT after he loses on Tuesday. Once he loses on Tuesday, we need to immediately see him on SmackDown on Friday. I'm not going to hold you up. If not, at least put him on Monday Night Raw the following week. Ethan Page has got to get the fuck out of NXT. He's got to. Enough is enough. Moving on. Next, this leads us into Oba Femi versus Myles Borne for the NXT Championship. Match was fun. The crowd was into it. Oba wins via not 1, but 2 fall from graces. What was insane was Oba hit the fall from grace early on in the match. Well, actually towards the end of the match. And Myles was able to kick out. And I was shocked. I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? But Myles did very good in this match. Oba's just a damn beast, man. I'm not going to hold you. Like, Oba's that dude. I don't know who's going to be the guy to defeat Oba. I really don't know who they have that can defeat Oba down in NXT. I don't know. So, there's that. But the match was solid. The match was good. Crowd was into it. Myles Borne is going to be a star, basically. And then Oba Femi, he just basically gives Myles Borne a head nod of approval. So that's cool there. Moving on. So there's a backstage brawl involving Stephanie Vaquer and some of the luchadores from Chick-fil-A. My bad. My bad. Holy shit, my bad. I'm sorry. From AAA. My bad. I don't know why I said Chick-fil-A. I apologize. AAA. AAA. So basically, Stephanie gets into a brawl with some of the AAA girls, the luchadores. So that was cool there. And I believe that JC Jane came in the mix and she slapped Stephanie Vaquer. And there was a massive brawl that broke out. So that was cool. So, then let's lead this into the main event. Joe Hendry versus Trick Williams for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And the president of TNA, Carlos Silva, he was in the house. So that was great. So Trick Williams ends up defeating Joe Hendry. And this was fucking tremendous. I love this. The match was solid. Both guys started off slow and everything else, started countering each other's moves and stuff. Towards the end of the match, Joe Hendry went for the attitude adjustment, but Trick Williams was able to dodge that. Then we go to the outside, basically. Trick ended up hitting the bookend through the announce table. Trick then throws Joe Hendry back into the ring. Trick ended up hitting a trick shot. And Joe kicks out at 2, which was insane. Then Trick got pissed off. He looked at the TNA title, grabbed it and put it and took it in the ring with him. The referee takes it away. This allows for Trick to hit an eye rake because Joe Hendry was going to go for the standing ovation. Trick ended up getting out of it via an eye rake, which was great. He ended up hitting the flapjack onto the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And then Trick ends up hitting Joe Hendry with another trick shot for the 1, 2, 3. And he is your new TNA World Champion, Trick Williams. This shit was great. I love this. This is perfect. Right decision was made. This was great. This was tremendous. Why? Because TNA needed a massive shot in the arm. Under Siege was god-awful. It was a waste of time. And this is something that TNA needed. And this is perfect. This is tremendous. So, it's going to be Mike Santana versus Trick Williams. That match will probably take place at Slammiversary. I doubt it'll take place at Against All Odds. Why would it? Against All Odds is probably going to be like Under Siege. I know nothing TNA Plus event. So I would just do Mike Santana and Trick Williams at Slammiversary. Because that's their version of SummerSlam for TNA. But this was great. I forgot to mention AJ Styles did a great video package for Joe Hendry, for the match. Really good stuff there. But this is great. Right decision was made. And I do think that Trick Williams will defeat Mike Santana at Slammiversary, which is when the match should happen, by nefarious means. And I think that Joe Hendry will get his redemption and get his comeuppance at Bound for Glory in October. I really do think that they're going to give Trick Williams at least a good 5-month reign as champion, as TNA champion. That would be great. So, good stuff there. Overall, the show was great. I had a really fun time watching it. Battleground was leaps and bounds better than Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing was just way too long for me, and that's the problem. There were some okay matches on that show, but NXT, in my opinion, was just a lot better, and I am very excited for NXT this Tuesday. But what did you guys think of Battleground? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.